It's Sunday, June 7th, and I wanted to come to the river. I've been stalked here the entire way. I've been bullied. I was put into a situation on the bus where someone wanted to, act like she was insane and wanted to fight me, because that would be insane. I called judgment immediately, and she will pay for what she did. She threw her soda in my face, all because I was nicely letting her know that her soda, one of 3 that she was consuming with her rushed huge amount of fries and burger, but 3 sodas. She had them under her arm and balancing on the seat beside her, and they didn't have lids. And at this point that I had said something, she had a big cup that only had ice, and a small cup that was, with every jolt of the bus, was dribbling, and she already had made a huge mess in the seat beside her that's fabric. She didn't care, but all of it was a setup. And even prior to that, there had been a man whose shirt had said, "Once a chief, always the chief," but I knew right away he was one of them, and when I was walking away from a bus stop, he said, "Have a nice day." And see, these people are trying to somehow get a core, they're in total desperation right now. And I shook my head no, not that I'm not going to have a good day, but no, I'm not talking with you. And he tried it again when I got off the bus. And then that ended up being a setup, because then I told him off. I told him, "Don't talk to me anymore. There's no cord, and I know what you're trying to do." And then when the lady did her role and starting shit over nothing, then he said on the bus, he said loudly, I think he said it later, but he said that I had provoked her. And he was kind of referring to me telling him off, as if I'm this person that just goes around telling people off all the time. These people are what they do is gaslight. What they do is they are thieves and they gaslight. Anyway, there's so many here at the river. I've been here all day. And I ended up going into the middle of the river and finding a little island, because I saw this plethora of people, and I can feel, I probably can't feel every single one that is part of this, but what's so sad is it's kids and stuff too. It really is. It's even little kids. But I can feel much of the time when people are in this. And even on the bus, there was a guy who kind of had seemed to be kind to me. He offered a seat when another guy was getting way too close to my crotch, and I said I didn't feel comfortable with him putting his head forward the way he was, with how close we were. And one guy ended up saying, "Hey, you want to switch seats with me?" which did help that. And I said yes. But then later, when we got off the bus, and this crazy lady, I told the bus driver, I moved, and then I told the bus driver I think she should be able to get removed off the bus for harassing me and throwing soda in my face. And then he was already stopped at that point, and he was going to call a supervisor. And during that time, the lady decided she would get off the bus, but with lots of cursing and ugliness, because she is just ugly through and through. Her being grossly into gluttony and overweight is not her main problem in any way, shape, or form. And I've been there. I've overate, but this lady, oh my God, this lady was just pure evil. She was just so wickedly mean. But it was an act though. She is, but she was trying to start. It was all this instigated thing. It's all these people are just bullies, and so there's so many people here at the river, and I'm on my way. I'm either going to wait for the bus or going to walk, but I don't know which, because I just would just like today, I would like to have all these eyes not staring at me, and just stalking me is so cruel. But it's not going to make me kill myself or lose it or anything, which I think is the goal with this. It's they want to take me out, but they can't. And so they're hoping I'm going to take myself out, but they don't know what a warrior and a fighter I am. I have been through hell. I literally have been to hell and back. I have, because the Bible takes you to hell if you believe it the way it says to, which I did. But there's so many people here I mean, I could just like turn my camera on and just keep videoing because it's practically everybody. In fact, I was kind of musing earlier to my ancestors when I was out in the water, and I was like, are there any people in Virginia that aren't this, like besides maybe like, some innocent children? And the answer was 1 of a city, 2 of a household, which is a biblical answer, and I don't like that aspect of it, but it did answer me in such a way where I pretty much, it's what I'm picking up on, like this is like everybody, at least here in Richmond, Virginia, and it includes many people from other countries, and the whole, it's not just the state of Virginia, it's the whole country, but Florida, California, Wisconsin, Memphis, Tennessee, New York, but I think it's probably in every state, but it's definitely all over the world. And the thing is that these people have been feasting off of my energy in particular because it's really big, and they've had me in a fraudulent marriage for almost 3 decades, and they've been filming me since I was a child with my family, like molesting me and letting others molest me. And then, of course I didn't know I was starring in child pornography, and then also it was still child pornography, but like as a teen and stuff, like they were sending in handler boyfriends who were, at least some of the time somehow videotaping in the hotels. Cheap hotels and stuff, at least, are set up to video people in this intimate act so that they can blackmail you later into these secret societies. But I literally would have to just turn on my video and keep it rolling, because like when they found out I wasn't leaving right away, and I like sat down, I actually sat down so my shorts could dry a little bit, and boy, it was like a whole flood of them just were coming in, and I can feel it. I can feel them, whether they're in a car or a motorcycle, a bike, or walking. And it kills me when it's like a mom, maybe like a 30 or younger mom, dad, and like a child, and it's like, what are y'all doing? Like, y'all couldn't have been okay, like, without stealing people's energy by murder, or sex trafficking, like. And then there's like this way that most of these people have is they're very unfriendly. Well, I can already feel what they are, but they're mostly unfriendly, and that's fine because I don't need people to put on a front. But they are putting on a front. It's just an unfriendly front, and while they are truly unfriendly, it's a front that like projects you aren't good enough. And I know it's not my energy, but they like kind of like, almost like snide and laugh as they go by. And it's like, even like this one guy right now, like he's pulled his phone out once he sees me. And this is like not okay. And he's texting somebody while she's standing there by the black iron fence. She still hasn't left. Like seriously, that's what he just, I mean, I can't read his text, but I know that's what he just did. And then he put his phone back in his pocket. Like, there was this lady in like a see-through pink dress with her dog and a basket with a pink blanket, and it's like really over the top bougie looking, right? Except she looks cheap because her dress is so see-through you can see her butt crack, and she's not wearing underwear apparently, and she's black, and so her black skin with the light pink, like a light pink Barbie-ish dress, Barbie color dress. Anyway, it's tacky because of her not wearing underwear, and it's so see-through. Anyway, she set up her little thing with her doggy right under the tree, which was approximately 15 feet away from where I'd been sitting. And as soon as she got like kind of cozy, I decided I would get up, and she got up right away. And she didn't move all her stuff, but she left her dog and she hightailed back over to her vehicle. And it was like, I don't know, maybe she left her phone over there. I don't know, but it just seemed real like, I'm not being paranoid. This, she went and did something to say, oh, she's not staying, And like this guy now walking by, it's probably been 15, 20 minutes. These people, like, it's constant. And some of these people become familiar and I can see them. I see them, they've been using the buses like crazy, but it's been really bad lately. And Spirit tells me it's not going to be much longer. Like, this is coming to an end, which is why I put the definition for desperation on my channel yesterday, because the whole secret societies are all desperate at this point. They know they can't kill me. They keep trying. All their plans are failing. They keep trying, and they can't do anything. And they keep trying, and so they're desperate because the whole simulation will fall apart if they can't keep slaughtering, because it's built off of slavery, human trafficking. This quote, free America, and the whole freaking world. And it's been going on for, I think, thousands of years. It's what the religions are all doing, like Muslim, Christian, Judaism, and it's really sad to me, especially like how young the children get brought into doing this stuff and, becoming a cannibal and tasting blood. It's very sad. And I never knew such things existed, and so I didn't see that when it happened to like my own children, like at least my own older 3. I have 4 that are grown now, and there's a couple that I'm unsure about, but I tend to think that maybe they aren't in it or involved, but hopefully they can somehow be preserved and come out from it. These people don't want to come out from what they're doing because it's very addictive, and many of them have been just given over to, basically, like, they are possessed by some entity that thirsts for human blood, and so they're quite happy as long as they get to have their feast, their Lord's Supper. They are fishers of men. Fishers means to go into, but they do that in many ways. And I know all this is coming to a headway, and I also know that my safety is 100% guaranteed, and I cannot have cords attached to me, which the way they would have usually done it would have been through sex or through fear, and I'm not having sex at all. I say no to sex magic, and I only envision pleasing myself when I am pleasing myself, and it's really not very often because I'm really just fine in that department right now. And I think that's, because of all I'm going through. And then obviously, I'm not fearful at all, and so that's why last night when this person was in a white truck and he was definitely stalking me, and he was entering a parking lot, and he wasn't going to the gate, he wasn't going all the way to the extra storage entrance. He was just came in because he saw me enter the parking lot. I was cutting through the parking lot, and I've been coming up the road, and so he was trying to see which way I was going to be heading. So when I stopped, he's like, he didn't know what to do, and so then I started walking over, and then he acted like he was going to the extra space storage, and then he did finally go through that after he put his truck in park so that I couldn't see the license plate well enough. Like, the light that shines on the license plate, I think, goes dimmer when you put it in park. So he put his truck in park. Then he put it in reverse and wanted to scare me to make me think he was gonna back into me. And so I didn't want to get too close to the truck because I didn't know what he was going to do. But I was able to get his license plate, I think, good enough for it to be, you know, it might take a little doing to find out which state it is, because that's unclear, but it might be North Carolina, but it might be 2 words, but I'm not sure what state it is. But I posted that yesterday, and it's just crazy, like, to think of how many people have been watching me, like, my whole, like, in all my intimate moments, like, in my whole life, like, who I've ever had sex with, whether it was rape, molestation, or consensual, in a false marriage, that I had felt trapped and felt because of what God hates, divorce, that I couldn't leave. And to now know that that whole marriage was fraudulent, and that was, you know, our marriage was done by a Mormon bishop in a church, not in the temple. But anyway, all of these things, like, it's crazy. It's crazy to think, like, these people have been enjoying watching my naked body and just me in general. But then somehow they thought I was stupid, and they thought I was never gonna figure out what was happening, that, you know, I don't make as good a star as Beyonce or Alito or whoever is siphoning my energy to try to shine in the public. So they put you down, but they need you. They're desperate for you. But they put you down in the process to make you think that you're, you know, I didn't know these, well, I know actually all my friends were this, but I didn't know this was happening. But, like, you know, my ex, for example, like, it's a love-hate thing. Like, he's obsessed with me, but he hates me. He just wants my energy, and he wants to be able to, like, siphon and steal everything that's mine, which is abundant, naturally. And, you know, there might also be, you know, some kind of inheritance that he's been getting with a false POA. Very, very possibly. But he hates me. I mean, he wants to leave me out in the cold. He wants me to be killed. Obviously, he hates me, but he loves my energy. Like, he's been tricking himself for all these years that it's like him that's so talented and good, right? And that's what these people do, and they project a rejection as they are, like, slurping you up through a straw. It's really odd, but it's like a false persona. It's like the narcissist paradigm, but on a, like, mega scale. And even, let's say, like, a Christian author or a Christian podcast, Flying Free, that was the one. Like, she is a vampire, but she'll have a podcast. There's also another thing I had used. Something about joy. Well, anyway, these people will be part of it, but then they'll be, like, teaching against, like, narcissism. They'll be teaching on the narcissist empath paradigm, and all the while they actually are a narcissist. And it's kind of really eerie, actually. Like, that's a big thing. So, like, you've got both sides playing their part, and it's like a normal person in society who isn't part of this group, but also isn't, like, a star like me, like maybe this, like, really big energy like me. I'm not saying they don't have potential or something like that. I'm just saying they're allowed to, like, you know, leave a crappy marriage and, like, heal to a certain point, but not wake up completely. But I woke up, and it's the complete undoing of this whole, to my shock and surprise, to this whole Illuminati, Mason, everything. It's all these groups. They're all one big thing. All the churches, all the sororities. It's you know, it's how Shaq, or any of them, it's how they, Michael Jordan, all these, and then there's fake deaths all the time, you know. Like, I'm sure Kobe Bryant isn't really dead, and Whitney Houston and things like that. Like, it's just all a big, huge show we've been watching. And it's funny because they are creating these shows with stolen energy as they are watching my show that I'm starring in all these years and don't know that I'm starring in it because I'm being surveillanced in my home in my most intimate areas, bedroom, bathroom, and etc. So these fault stars are actually obsessed with my real star, me, who I am. And me coming back and reclaiming my power, fully stepping into my power is like, you know, that's why they're trying to kill me, because they think if they can kill me, then they can keep going back to the old ways of harnessing my energy, and their whole system keeps going along. And I would have never thought I was a battery for such an enormous scheme, but these are the truths that have been shown to me, and the evidence is coming. And this is like, we're nearing the end of all of this, which is why like people are traveling from other countries, even not just other states, to gang stalk me in attempts to take me out. And I can feel, for not all the time, there are some people like Anna and Jeremiah, there are some people that tricked me a little while, but it was like I have a doubt and I'm not sure, but I just know, I need to know at that point that if I have a doubt and it's even crossing my mind that it is the case, they are one. But I just like to give people the benefit of the doubt so much. I've always been that way, and so there have been some people that I might not have known right away, but it's like, feels like everybody, every adult that I see, that I lay eyes on in any given day, and it's really wild. And the saddest part to me, like I said, is, you know, obviously that people are being slaughtered and stuff like that, but that children are partaking in this and getting started so young. And it's like, so those children, as they grow up and they've gotten into this, like, I don't know, let's say by like age 2, what chance did they have? You know, it almost feels like it takes away their free will. And that's not okay, I don't think.